A general commands 900 iron chariots. He dies in a tent, not in battle, in his sleep. The weapon is a hammer and a tent peg. The hand holding them belongs to a woman who was never a soldier. Before her, 2 other people already tried to stop him and failed. 10,000 men with spears could not do it. A king with an empire behind him could not do it. She does it alone, with a tool she uses every day of her life. You are watching Jesus Tell Tales. If true stories like this are why you're here, subscribe. And write Judges 4 in the comments before you keep going. Now go back 20 years to where this actually starts. The book of Judges runs on a repeating pattern. Israel forgets God, Israel suffers for it, Israel cries out. God sends someone to deliver them, the land rests, then they forget again. By this point in the book, that cycle has already run 4 times. This is the 5th, and it is the longest one yet, 20 years. Israel has a king it never asked for. His name is Jabin, and he rules from a city called Hazor. Archaeologists, led by Jael dug up Hazor in the last century. What they found was enormous, the largest fortified city in the land. Some scholars think Jabin was a throne name, not a person. A tablet from centuries earlier names a different king, Jabin of Hazor. It may be a title passed down through that throne, like Pharaoh. Whoever sits it now, his general is a man named Sisera. Sisera commands 900 chariots built of iron. For 20 years, those chariots have owned the roads of Israel. Picture one household living under that sound to feel what the text can't. Imagine a girl who has never once walked the road below her village. Every summer afternoon she hears it, wheels, hooves, iron on stone. Her grandmother taught her the rule, when you hear it, go inside. Her mother was born into that rule. Her father grew old inside it. She is not a name in the text. She is every family living under it. 20 years of a sound you cannot walk past in your own home. That is the world this story is trying to end. Under a palm tree between Ramah and Bethel sits a woman. Her name is Deborah. In Hebrew, it means bee. She is a prophetess, and the text says plainly she is judging Israel. The Hebrew word is shafet, close to our word for judge, but wider. It means someone who rules, delivers a people, and sets things right. Every other judge in this book stumbles into leadership through a battle. Deborah is the only one the text shows simply sitting, hearing, ruling. Farmers bring her disputes, a stolen goat, a cheated widow. Some later readers call her Lapidoth's wife, a name meaning torches. Others read that word as a title, a woman whose presence lit the dark. Later, the song written about this day calls her a mother in Israel. Not mother of Israel. Like she owns it, mother in it, in the middle of it. Either way, the text gives one judge in this book a woman's name. One day she sends for a man named Barak from a town called Kedesh.
The Lord commands you, take 10,000 men from Naphtali and Zebulun. March to Mount Tabor. God will draw Sisera to the Kishon River, and God will deliver him into your hand.
Barak knows exactly what 900 iron chariots do to farmers on foot. He answers her with a condition, not a refusal.
If you will go with me, I will go. If you will not go with me, I will not go.
Some call that fear, others call it something more careful. He isn't saying no, he's saying he needs to see God walking beside him.
I will surely go with you, but the road you are taking will not lead to your honor, for the Lord will sell Sisera into the hand of a woman.
Barak assumes she means herself. He is wrong, and the woman she actually means hasn't entered the story yet. 10,000 farmers, shepherds and their sons climb Mount Tabor. Most carry staves and slings. A few still have their grandfather's bronze. Ironworking was a Canaanite monopoly the Israelites never broke. Centuries later, 1 Samuel would still say no smith could be found in Israel. No chariot can climb the grade they're standing on. That is the point. From the summit, they watch 900 chariots fill the valley floor. A line of iron stretching from one horizon to the other. Some of these men are seeing that many chariots for the first time. The Kishon River below is barely a trickle in the summer heat. One soldier near the front can't be older than 19. His hands are shaking on his spear before Deborah even gives the word.
Up, this is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hand.
10,000 men run down the mountain toward the chariots, and the sky breaks open. The Song of Deborah, written soon after, calls it the stars fighting. Scholars consider that song some of the oldest Hebrew verse in Scripture. A storm floods the dry Kishon in minutes, not hours. Wheels built for hard, dry ground sink into sudden mud. Iron, the thing that made those chariots terrifying, now traps them. Horses panic, drivers cut them loose and run on foot. Not one chariot makes it back to Sisera's base that day. On a ridge above the valley, a girl stands in her doorway. The rumble has stopped. She doesn't know what to do with the silence. Sisera abandons his own army and runs, alone on foot, for miles. He runs toward one place he still believes is safe. Heber, a Kenite, camps nearby with his household. The Kenites are nomads and metalworkers, kin to Moses' father-in-law's people. Some think the name itself comes from an old word for smith. Heber's clan had struck a peace with King Jabin, a treaty. Sisera repeats it to himself the whole way there. The Kenites, the treaty. A woman named Jael is standing outside her tent when he arrives. By custom, a woman's tent is her own space, off-limits to strange men. For a hunted man, stepping inside one is the safest place left to hide. She reads the mud on his robe and the way he's running before he speaks.
Turn aside, my lord. Turn aside to me, do not be afraid.
A commander who terrified a nation for 20 years obeys a stranger's voice. He asks for water. She brings him warm milk instead, in a fine bowl. That was no small gesture. It marked a guest as protected under her roof. Old tradition says warm milk on an exhausted man works like a sedative. Whatever the reason, within minutes, he is asleep under her rug. Every day of her life, this woman has pitched and struck her own tents. Driving a peg into hard ground with a mallet is not new to her hands. She kneels beside him. She sets the point of the peg at his temple. One strike, the general of 900 chariots does not wake again. Barak arrives minutes later, sword drawn, chasing the man he lost. Jael says nothing. She only lifts the tent flap and steps aside. He looks down at the peg. He looks down at his own unused sword. It was never going to be his sword that ended this. Now he understands what Deborah meant under that palm tree. Not her, this woman, a stranger with no rank he'd ever heard of. Far to the west, at Sisera's own house, his mother watches the road. The Song of Deborah stops the whole battle to sit with her for a moment. Why is his chariot so long in coming? She asks, and asks again. Her ladies comfort her, with talk of plunder still being divided. Women and cloth split among the soldiers, one share for every man. That is the empire this war was fought to end. Even its comfort is cruel. The light moves across the room, while she waits for a son already dead. She keeps watching a road. He will never come down. The land has rest for 40 years after that morning. A full generation grows up, never once hearing that rumble. The girl from the ridge is grown now, a mother herself. Her own daughter runs down that same road without looking back once. The wind still comes from the north. It just isn't frightening anymore. Look at who this story actually turns on. Not a king, not an army, a woman under a tree. And a woman with a tent peg. Deborah never picks up a weapon. Jael never trains for war. One rules from under a tree, the other keeps tents for a living. Neither one goes looking for the day that defines her. It's a pattern Scripture keeps returning to, long after this one ends. A shepherd boy with a sling, a widow with 2 coins, a virgin in Nazareth. God keeps reaching for the tent and the palm tree, not the palace. Centuries later, he reaches for a carpenter's shop in the same way. The women of Israel sang this story for generations after it happened. 3,000 years on, in languages that didn't exist when it happened. We are still telling it, a judge's tree, a stranger's tent, a woman's name. If this story moved you, tell me in the comments, Jael or Deborah. Subscribe to Jesus Tell Tales, and we'll see you at the next one.